When we think about today's CIOs, they really have such a tremendous opportunity to make a huge impact on organizations, people, and their respective market and their communities. If we start where the technology organization is expected to focus, CIOs continue to be responsible for delivering on efficient, reliable operations. This is really table stakes. This is how CIOs have built credibility for years as strong technologists and operators. At the same time, they're really having to focus on the adoption of disruptive technologies. They have to be able to demonstrate that they're staying ahead of the curve and acting as a business-savvy strategist and a catalyst for innovation by leading on applying new technologies and processes. How are they leading in areas of automation, AI, machine learning, and other aspects, and what that ultimately does to how they run their operations and contribute to the enterprise? With the adoption of new technologies, there often comes a growing expectation around services acceleration and optimization. The CIO organization should lead with new ways to deliver services and engage with the business. This leads to an agenda that needs to be grounded in how technology organizations organize, behave, and execute. All of these things, efficient operations, the adoption of disruptive technologies, as well as services optimization, has many CIOs looking at new and creative ways to nurture and grow talent, creating environments of continuous learning while also being intentional about new ways to acquire and retain talent from the market. At the same time, the technology agenda isn't enough for the CIO to worry about, because the C-suite adds a complex set of expectations on top of this agenda. The C-suite typically expects the CIO to focus on delivering new products and services and advancing the ideation of new business models. That translates into a very big expectation around top-line revenue growth while also continuing to balance overall cost structure. The business typically looks to the CIO to be innovative, to model the behavior around innovation. It's not to say innovation isn't an agenda item for the enterprise, but rather they look to CIOs to lead around exploration and experimentation. How do we begin to prototype critical aspects of who we want to become and deliver products and services in a different capacity? So you've got the technology organization with its core priorities, you've got the C-suite and the business with a set of priorities, and you've also got the board and the market. You start to think about what the board is ultimately looking for, and this is really about shareholder value and enterprise value. And at the core level, it's also about managing the risk of the organization. Security has always been a critical part of the conversation, but in today's conversation, it's really about protection of assets and the enterprise and shareholder value. And the market, well, the market's ultimately being dictated by customers. Customers are dictating a new set of expectations with the way that they engage with technology, requiring the CIO to really focus on delivering technology in a way that creates new alternatives for customer engagement platforms. So as we look at the landscape of all the different influences and priorities for the CIO, many of the conversations that we are having with CIOs are really focused on value, credibility, and influence. How do I approach this opportunity and agenda and continue to create value? How do I build credibility as a CIO, knowing all of these priorities and expectations? And how do I continue to maintain that credibility in a way that I can continue to influence the future of the organization? As every company becomes, in some way, a technology company, and as technology becomes so pervasive that it grows beyond one team's constant control, the role of the CIO will continue to expand to business strategist, talent leader, and innovative growth driver. There has never been a more exciting time to be a CIO, to lead the enterprise through rapid change. Now is the time to demonstrate courage, the courage to step up and lead the organization into the future.